Yo, what is up YouTube? Back with another video. Today, we are going to be going over the Las Vegas Raiders schedule, predicting every game. So I decided to predict their schedule next because they, along with the Jaguars, are playing in the NFL Hall of Fame game this Thursday. So, the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a team that had coaching difficulties last season. We all know what happened with John Gruden, but they didn't let that get to them. Even though John Gruden got fired mid-season, they still made the playoffs. They had a lot of great wins. They had a lot of strong wins against opponents that were really good, and I'm excited to see how this team performs this season. So last season, the Raiders won 4 straight games to close out the season with a 10-7 record. We really started to see Hunter Renfrow emerge as a number 1 receiver in the NFL, and that offense was just looking really good. Their defense with Max Crosby getting all those sacks at the end of the year was, dramatically improving as well. And with a slow start last year, or should I say a struggling start mid-season, this team finished strong, made the playoffs, and played the Bengals in the wild card round. They almost beat them, very, very close, so I think this team has a lot of potential. So the first thing I want to look at is their depth chart. Let's look at their offense. Obviously, you got Derek Carr, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. All 3 of these players have been playing with each other for a while, and Josh Jacobs, of course. But the new receiver, they got Davante Adams. If you don't know, Derek Carr, Davante Adams, they were college teammates, and he's said that they practiced with each other a lot during the off seasons over the past years. I'm excited to see this duo because they already have great chemistry, and with him and Hunter Renfrow on the same team, this offense is going to be a lot better than it already was, and it was pretty good last year. I think the Raiders in the past couple seasons have been struggling with the wide receiver position, but Hunter Renfrow emerged as that reliable receiver at the end of last year. And, with Davante Adams, this is going to be very scary because Darren Waller is probably the 3rd best tight end in the league, in my opinion. And with those 2 receivers, Hunter Renfrow, Davante Adams, getting all of these targets just leads Darren Waller open, a huge target. He's going to be a great fantasy football tight end this year. Their defense, on the other hand, it's not the best, but it's not bad. It has Max Crosby, one of the best defensive ends in the league, and he's probably going to have an even better season. He got that huge contract. Earlier in the year, they were giving up a lot of points, and later in the season, they started to get their stuff together, except, week 18 against the Chargers. But I'm excited to see how this team plays out this year. So let's look at their schedule. So week 1, they play at the Los Angeles Chargers. They played them week 18 in that, Sunday night football game. And if you don't know, that game, whoever won that game automatically made the playoffs. And if they tied, they both would have made it. That game went in overtime. That was kind of weird, not gonna lie, but whatever. So they're playing at the Los Angeles Chargers. I think these 2 teams just split the series 1-1 this year. I'll just say it from the start. I don't really know which team wins where, but I'm going to have to give the Chargers the win. They're definitely going to be one of the best teams in the AFC next year, maybe in their division. And, they're going to be hard to beat. This is in LA. I'll give the Chargers the win. Week 2, they have a home opener against the Arizona Cardinals. I think this will be a very good game. It'll probably be that game where Davante Adams gets 3 touchdowns. Man, it'll be fun to watch. I'm just going to say that. I think the Cardinals are a good team, but with DeAndre Hopkins suspended during this game, I bet there's going to be struggles on the offense. They lost Christian Kirk to the Dolphins in the offseason. I think the Cardinals struggle in the beginning of the year, and the Raiders get their first win of the season. Next, they play on the road at the Tennessee Titans. So this is very fortunate. Their schedule's looking, I guess you could say lucky at this point, because the Cardinals, at the end of the year, they're going to be good. But in the beginning, doubt it. So that's a lucky win. Week 3 they play at the Titans, right? I think the Titans at the end of the year are going to be solid, but at the beginning of the year I think they're going to struggle, and I say this because they lost A.J. Brown. They're going to have issues on offense, receiving-wise. Not Derrick Henry, he's a beast, but passing the ball is going to be an issue in my opinion. The number one receiver on Tennessee is a mystery to me, and I think the Raiders outscore the Titans in this game, get the win. So week 4 they play the Broncos at home. I think this is going to be a pretty easy win, and I only say this because I think Russell Wilson's not going to be used to the new offense. I only say this because you look at what Tom Brady did his first season in Tampa Bay. They had a pretty poor start, but finished the season strong. That's exactly how I think the Broncos will turn out too as well. So I think the Raiders get the win. And week 5, they play the Chiefs. Last year at Kansas City, absolutely destroyed you both times, 41-14 and 9-48. And that's kind of embarrassing. So I think it'll be a closer game this time. But Kansas City just knows how to play you. I know you're going to say, like, oh, they lost Tyreek Hill. They lost Tyrann Mathieu. The Raiders got Devontae Adams. They should be the better team. Maybe you have a good argument there, and maybe you're right. Maybe the Raiders have a better record than the Chiefs at the end of the year. But I don't see the Raiders going on the road to Kansas City and beating them. It just doesn't work like that. So after starting 3-2, they have a bye week 6. I think this is the worst bye week in the league because it's the first bye week available, and you have 11 more games to play in a row. Kind of unfortunate, but you get the bye week. The week after that, you play the Texans at home, and this is going to be a free win. They're the worst team in the league. Easy win for the Raiders. So this game the following week, I think this is going to be one of the most crucial games of your season. It is at the New Orleans Saints. This is a toss-up for me. I say this because if this was in Las Vegas, I'd no doubt pick the Raiders, but it's in New Orleans. The Saints are kind of a mystery to me as well because they got all these new receivers, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave. Michael Thomas is returning from missing the entire last season. Like, the Saints receiving core is insane, but at the same time, I don't know how it's going to work out with Jameis Winston at QB. Maybe this team's insane, maybe it's average, but I don't think the Saints are going to be bad. This is going to be one of the toughest games you have all year because it's a team that you don't play a lot, and it's a team that I think could be better than you. At this point in the season, it's week 8. The Saints probably got the chemistry down. They fixed all their early season issues with these receivers. I think they're going to be a very, very tough competition. And with that being said, I do believe this will be a field goal win for the Saints. But like I said, this game could go either way. I think both these teams are going to be evenly matched, but it's in New Orleans. I think the Saints get the win. It'll definitely be a very interesting game to watch. You also got to remember they got Tyrann Mathieu on defense, a dude who knows the Raiders like the back of his hand. He was in the AFC West and the Chiefs for all those years. I just think the Saints get the win. The following week, you have a doozy. You're at the Jaguars. I think you get the win. I think the Jaguars are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, but definitely better than they were before. So the week after that, you have a home game against the Colts. This will be a very good game. Matt Ryan's the new QB for Indianapolis, and this team has Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the league, one of the most productive. Michael Pittman and Jr. and wide receiver. I think it'll be a very interesting one. I think at the end of the season, both these teams are going to have very similar records, probably the same record. So this is going to be a very, very, very important game to win. Tiebreaker for playoff spots, potential playoff spots, I should say. I think these teams are evenly matched. Like, record-wise, I think they'll have the same. I just really think it comes down to home field advantage, and I think the Raiders get the win. I just think Devontae Adams is going to be tearing it up with Derek Carr. I think they're just going to outplay Matt Ryan and the Colts. I think Matt Ryan's the biggest choke artist in the league, and he'll find a way to lose this game. Next, you have your second matchup at the Denver Broncos. I think the Broncos, they're going to be well established. The receiving core is going to be a lot better than it was in the beginning of the year. Cortland Sutton's probably going to be one of those like underdog receivers that gets 800 yards or something. Russell Wilson's the QB. And this team's going to be a little scarier than Raiders Broncos matchups are relatively close if you look at the past games they played. And that was with a Broncos team that I thought was pretty bad because their quarterback was horrible. But with Russell Wilson, I think this Broncos team at this point in the season is going to be pretty good. And boom, the Broncos get the win. The next game they have is at the Seattle Seahawks, who I believe are on par with the Texans to be one of the worst in the league. Like, who they have? They traded all their players away besides DK Metcalf. Russell Wilson's gone. This team's easy to beat. The Raiders get the win. The next game you have is your rematch against the Chargers. This is the home game. We saw it last year. The Raiders were destroying the Chargers until that weird fourth quarter where the Chargers converted on every 4th and 10. That was imaginable. And then winning the overtime, blah, 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 blah. This is going to be a very good game. Very, very, very good game. This could be for division winning rights. Not even joking, I don't think the Chiefs win their division this year. I think the Chargers and Raiders could be better and might possibly have a better record. You lost to the Chargers earlier in the season in LA, but I think you get the win this time. I said it the first game. I think these two teams split the series 1-1, but it would be a very interesting playoff matchup, which could possibly happen. Next, you have a road game at the Los Angeles Rams, who are Super Bowl champs. I think the Rams are going to be the second best team in the league next year, and they're going to get the win. Raiders lose. The next game they have is a home game against the Patriots, who I'm not sold on. I'm not a fan of Mac Jones. I don't like their team. I think the Raiders get that, much needed win at this point in the season to keep up with their division rivals, to win their division, and a highly competitive AFC, which will have really good records in the wild card seeding. So much needed win. If the Raiders make a wild card appearance, the Patriots could as well, and this could be a very huge game for a tiebreaker. I think the Raiders' depth chart is just so much better than the Patriots. More experience, better players, more veterans, and the Raiders get the win at home. The following week, you're going on the road against the Steelers. If you played this team earlier in the season, you would have easily beat them. You beat them last year early in the season, but the Steelers are different. They're a better team as the season continues. They have a really good defense with TJ Watt, who wants his revenge on losing last year. The thing about the Steelers is I do believe their offense has one of the highest potentials in the league, but their quarterback situation is going to be very bad. I don't know who's going to be starting this game. I'm looking at the Steelers training camp reports saying Mason Rudolph was the best quarterback. Bruh. It'll be an interesting game. This is in Pittsburgh, though. I think the Steelers get that much needed win to keep their season alive. I think they're going to be competing for a wild card, and this will be a huge game, no doubt about it. But I do believe Pittsburgh's defense, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, potentially George Pickens, a rookie receiver, they have a very, I guess you could say, solid offense at this point, but not good or great. Defense is great, though, and the Steelers get the win. The next game you have is against the 49ers, who are a pretty good team. This is the home game, and you're playing a team that was in the NFC Championship game last year. So this team's got a really good defense and a solid offense, but I don't think their offense is going to be as great as it was last year. Their offense wasn't even amazing. It was good enough to win games. They were in the NFC Championship, but I don't think Trey Lance is it. I don't think this team's that really great on offense, which means I think their defense is going to step up, get them a lot of points. This will be a good game, but I think the Raiders get the win at home. And the last game of the season is against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a home game. This could be for division winning bragging rights to win their division, to make a playoff spot. And this is for all the marbles. This literally could be it. I think the Raiders are clutch in this game. You saw what happened in Week 18 last year. They beat the Chargers for a playoff spot. I think it happens again. They beat the Chiefs for the first time in a while, and they make the playoffs. So Raiders, Raiders Nation, what do you think about this prediction? I have you going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. I have you going 11-6. I think you're going to be a pretty good team. Your division's insane. There's no doubt. There's no denying that. Your division's absolutely insane. So you're going to have to be a good team to compete. I think your offense is going to be insane this year. And we're just going to have to see what happens. So hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe. Adios.